Hi, YouTube. I hope you're all doing great. I'm doing all right. So. Could be better, could be worse. Um, I have a lot on my mind, so I'll just start with my main topic, although it is going to go into more like civic things, social things, but entails a lot of it too. And the topic is narcissism. Um, I often wonder, although psychologists and psychiatrists realize that narcissism has markers and it's a mental illness, and they've even got a scale of different, uh, what would the word be? Just a minute. Oh yeah, she's gonna talk. Okay, right. Different things that they do, patterns and ways of acting in within the mental illness. I forget the name of the charts and it eludes me right this second. But my point is, I often wonder why they don't correlate the evil that these people willingly do with actually spiritual warfare and the evil that is going on. Because, like with our world leaders and whatnot, they're selfish. They're full of themselves. It's the narcissistic traits in a big way. That's why they are trying to make it so acceptable in this world. What was really crazy today, there was a woman on that parents of narcissist children, and she was talking about how her son had denied a birthday card from her, um, and almost word for word, the words that she had posted, what her son had written to her. I had heard almost those same type of words, and even with like adults and the way they act, men or women. I mean, what they say and do, it's almost identical to the stuff that I've been through or been around. So it really isn't unique. Um, that leads me to believe that somebody else is controlling their brain, sort of like possession. Or they are of the bloodline and they just like it. The one kid, the mom had taken him to counseling with her, and he was about 17, and he just flat came out and said, I know what I do is bad, and if you don't like it, that's just too bad because I'm not going to change. That's pretty flat out. So I just wonder why more psychiatrists in this world are so afraid of making the spiritual connection. Maybe they don't believe in God either. Maybe they don't want to acknowledge that because then, being that they're dealing with the mind, it's a hard thing to prove, you know. Um, oh, so anyway, off that subject for a minute or maybe forever, I hope. But I made a decision tonight, dry my hair first or talk to you, and I thought I'll talk to you because I can then less blow drying on my hair is better for it anyway. So, but I have a macaroni hot dish in the oven, and I made a strawberry cake to have for dessert. Sometimes when I'm not feeling the greatest, and this week has been a bear, I'll bake something and it makes me feel better. So, um, yeah. Well, last night was sort of a trip too. I'll tell you about it in a minute without naming any names. But this kind of brings up like that video I was so disturbed about, somebody preaching that God has forsaken us last night, because he hasn't. Um, if he had, we wouldn't have each other in this world, and that's Christ in our heart. showing love and kindness towards other people. That's why I think narcissists don't have God in their hearts, and it is a spiritual war. So I guess I did kind of intertwine that there. Well, last night I got a message from a very close friend of mine, and okay, just a sec. She is a citizen and has been since she was like about 4 years old. She's from the Middle East. And she came over here with her father to her grandfather's farm after her mom died. So the dad could get help with the kids. There was a couple of boys and my friend, a girl. And she had been mutilated over in her country, and if you know what I mean, that type of thing. And so this girl has, lady, young woman, has been through hell in her life and back. And she doesn't really trust a lot of people either. Well, her one brother died, so she has one left. And last night, he wanted to commit suicide. Well, she was freaking out because she's got two little boys. So when I say young woman, I'm talking she's in her 40s, that's young to me, when she's young enough to be my daughter. So she didn't have anybody to talk to or know where to turn. And I gave her ideas like maybe get a hold of a church or the suicide hotline, or perhaps put on some music that they both liked and just kind of talk to her. And I told her, I said, well, I'm going to take a shower. I have to get our food ready, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to pray, and I want you to pray too. And when I did come back, he had calmed down and she felt better. But just, I talked to her for, oh, I would say at least about an hour back and forth, and she was just wanting to scream and cry, and because her husband had killed himself. So, when can you imagine this person wanting to commit suicide, running across that video and videos that I was telling you about? Yeah. So, anyway, because the dude's heartbroken. Um, I'm sure it didn't do her heart any good either, and she was frantic. Just to have somebody to talk to her, try and make some sense in the world. And she said, she didn't understand why he didn't realize what he was saying to her was hurting her so bad because of what she had already been through in her life. And so we talked for quite some time, like I say, and then things did calm down, but it was pretty horrible in all reality, you know? So, yeah, terrible. So, and this is one of the nicest ladies you'd ever meet. If I call somebody friend, I mean, I'll call everybody friend if they want to be friendly with me. But I would say, like, I have close friends on here, and I've been a close friend of this woman for a very long time on Facebook. So, I mean, I seen her write things like I'll write, and nobody would respond to what she was writing, or, you know, um, and then I kind of think it's cool because we saw correlations in our religions, or love for God in our hearts, that she could see through even reading the Quran, or and I've read that too, that they do believe that Christ is a teacher, the same as their Muhammad. So, but she turned Christian. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Maybe because what she was reading seemed to make a little more sense of, you know, some of the laws that they've rewritten in their book, like we have in ours too. But as far as having a wife and then having like concubines or other women they're allowed to have as slaves, well, some parts of their religion and churches or their um, mosques, I believe, um, and their preachers, um, teachers teach that that's okay. Other ones they've shown where there's laws in there saying that that's forbidden. So she knows that there's good people in her culture too and bad ones in there. It's kind of like if you have different types of Christianity, like Calvinist or Zionist or Catholics or the Lutherans, Methodists, Presbyterians, whatever, Baptists, evangelists, which is mostly, I guess, um, pretty much if a person's out there talking about the love of God and Christ, then they're being evangelistic in that respect. So I don't know. Just talking about what's on my mind today. Oh, I'll tell you something that's really disturbing. Darla Lama, thank you for telling me that. Up in Canada, in Ottawa, yeah, they brought the gas back to the truckers, but it was tainted with water. And there's little kids and families living in a lot of them trucks. Doug was telling me about, and they will freeze if they can't keep their trucks warm. And that water in that gas, or it's diesel fuel, will wreck. Well, some of them might be gas, but will wreck that motor. So they're destroying thousands of dollars worth of property of these people with that water tainted gas. And there's a lot of people that have lost their homes because of this type of thing. And they're in Ottawa too, trying to seek some help. And I saw the most hideous thing, just a sec here. There was this one guy, he was asking these reporters that were actually kind of trying to cause an uproar within the crowd. The guy said, I have two teenage boys in my car. Are they in danger here? Are they going to get hurt? And there was police around and these reporters, and the guy kept asking them, I want to know if my children are safe. They wouldn't answer him. Then it panned over in the crowd and it showed this little 80-year-old man. He could have even been a little older than that. He was about 5 feet tall. I shared it on my Facebook. It's just disgusting. Um, says something like man confronts reporters or something, but then it went in to these two great big cops grabbing this little man and twisting his arm back. He wasn't even fighting. He did try to get loose because I could tell because of I mean, they could do that to me and I wouldn't care because I'm into yoga and I can like literally twist my arms around. They could do whatever they want and I wouldn't really even care. Seriously. I can have my hands behind my back and step through my legs backwards and have my hands back in front of me, that type of thing. So that wouldn't even bother me a bit, you know. But this little old man, these two great big guys, because they asked him if he had any ID, and he didn't. So they started putting their hands on him. And I knew for a fact if I had been there, if you had been there, all you'd have to do is, sir, would you walk over here with me and, over towards their car? I don't know what they get for being a vagrant up in Ottawa. I have no clue. But they put their hands on that little man and they manhandled him. Over 6 feet tall, these great big guys manhandling this tiny little old man. I almost started crying. It was so disgusting. It was really disturbing. Gross. It was horrible. And the one guy in the crowd, he was starting to get really heated. He was calling him a pig and a F and this and that, and come try to put your hands on me. And the one cop started walking towards him, and the guy's friend's like, this is going to be peaceful. Just calm down, calm down. Told him a couple times, and finally the dude calmed down, and the cop walked away back over by the car where they had arrested that little old man. Then I heard another disturbing thing today I saw, actually read on Facebook, was now they're starting to call people that are homeless unhomed. Why would they do that? I was thinking to myself, why would you call somebody that is homeless unhomed? Are they going to be rehoming these people like you do a pet or something? Or like with the FEMA camps, is that their ulterior motive? Yeah, it is. But I don't like the wording of it all, the verbiage. So yeah, that's just a moment. Yeah, how disgusting. All of it. Then I had my youngest was using racial slurs towards people that he's living with and stuff, and it was pretty disgusting. And I was trying to talk some sense about all this stuff that's going on, and he comes back with neither one of his parents are his friend, and he's gonna cut everybody off tonight, even you, mom. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I said, thanks bunches. you know like, God, people in this world, they're something else. Anyway, because I was just telling him I've grown a pretty thick skin. I don't let anybody get to me. Try LOL at them. You know, that seems to work wonders. Have you ever had anybody that loses their temper and you look at them and you start laughing? Oh, well, you might get hurt, but it really does work. Um, or if they're trying to be crabby and you keep telling jokes, that works too. Um, oh, what did I say? Oh, I this is what got him. He didn't like this. I said, sounds like they have diaper rash. you know, I think he didn't want to hear any more out of me tonight. So anyway, yeah. So that's what's been going on in my neck of the woods. We got a pretty wild wind that came up with some snow today. It must have been about 30 miles an hour out there. I went down to get the mail. It's about, oh, I think an eighth of a mile to the end of the driveway and back. And I had my snow pants on and stuff. It was pretty wicked. It was warm out as far as the air temperature. It was above 30 degrees, but with that wind, it was pretty wicked. So yeah, the amount of adults that are going through trashy situations with their kids is amazing. And the things that these kids say to their parents, I mean, to me, and because I did and I know that if your parents are narcissists, you don't have to sit there and call them names or try and use them or play games with them or anything like that. Just say goodbye, you know, and honor them for being your parents. And why even bother trying to hurt anybody, you know? So I figure if I'm getting hurt by somebody that I'm around, I'm not going to sit there and try and hurt them back. I'm just going to distance myself, you know. And that's kind of something that I've seen has changed or maybe it really hasn't changed. Maybe there's people that have are my age that maybe swore at their parents or whatever. I mean, no, I don't mean to offend nobody if you did and it was a mistake, but I don't know. I just, I don't know. I guess I really haven't gotten too swore at by my kids. It's just the attitude of things that's going on in the world. I think it's all upside down, I guess. I guess it doesn't matter the generation. It's all sad, you know. And it is good against evil. And I know um the term narcissist is just another name for selfish evil person. And like if they're a player or a con artist, or they think they have a craft, that they're into witchcraft, or they have a craft on YouTube and they're making money because they passed it on through the generations from the Illuminati, you know. And it is, a lot of it is a scam. They're playing people like with scriptures and science or whatever. Even news media, some of them on YouTube are like total shills. Oh, that brings to mind too. I don't think I told you, but I'm going to tell you now about Lionel Nation. Been following them for a very long time. A long time. Just a minute. Mm. He was on the radio even like 30 years ago, and I've heard his real name long time ago. His name is Michael, by the way. But I unfriended him on Facebook because he passed around this post. It was a week after his wife's birthday, and he gets here on YouTube. He celebrates his birthday. He celebrates his wife's birthday. A week later, after his wife's birthday, his is in the fall. Hers was just a little bit ago here. He passed around a quote from somebody that said, to the effect that no, nobody cares about your birthday. Um, I don't care about your birthday. And I'm thinking, okay, that one hit me hard because I was thrown away on my birthday, and I really haven't had many people wish me happy birthday in my life. This year I think will be different, and last year was a bit different. But everybody wants their birthday to be celebrated, but when it comes to people with tender hearts, they're like, oh yeah, well, we'll just give you a big disrespect for your birthday. So I wrote something like, the only reason I was watching you is because of your language skills, and you're a shill. And somebody wrote something to me that I should have some respect. And I said, oh, like you just said to me, or what he just wrote up above, something like that, you know? So, yeah. I still see what the titles of his videos are that come through, but I don't watch them. And I might someday. I don't know. But it's not that my feelings got so hurt, because personally, I don't know him on a personal level. But if I did, then I would be able to tell him to his face that that was a total piece of shit call on anybody that's alive, because we should honor each other's birthdays. Oh, and I think it's cool. Not only Bruce Caesar is born the same day as me, but we're born the same day as Galileo. And I guess I know I had heard that before, but I told Doug that, and he's like, no wonder you always like the sky so much, maybe I'm related to him. He said, well, we are all are. I said, yeah, especially if we go back that far. So, yeah. Anyway, that's pretty cool. Good to know. Cool to know. I used to lay out on the lawn. My brother had a telescope and he would never use it. So I just lay out on the lawn when I was a kid and look up at the stars, and well, I could really see the Milky Way back in them days. And we lived on the edge of a giant city, so even the light pollution wasn't that bad back in the day that I could see the Milky Way from where I lived, right outside of Minneapolis. So, um, yeah, things have changed, but there's still enough land in the world for everybody to have all kinds of acreage all over the place. There's all kinds of food that we could be growing, all kinds of things we could be sharing. We wouldn't lack anything, and nobody has to die. But tell that to the elites with their Georgia Guidestones. They sure don't care about nobody except themselves. And that's the major narcissists in the world right there. So, yeah. Well, I think that's about it for tonight. That's what's been on my mind is narcissism is a spiritual warfare, and the psychiatrists aren't talking about it in those terms because they don't want to be labeled as fruitcakes by the people that are um, atheists or Satanists. And that's about what it boils down to. They have no spine and they will not speak up for the victims of the narcissists. And so, if they're making money off of listening to people's sorrows or trying to fix a marriage when they're married to a narcissist or have children that are, or parents or whoever, then they're actually not of God either. Because if they were, they would be telling it like it is. But I guess then again, they're not ministers. They're just, they just have a doctrine, a doctor after their name. Well, I could put that too as a minister, like some of them do, but I don't play that game. That's pretty silly. Although I could do surgery if I had to. Um, I've done a few things that I've had to do in my life, but I wouldn't call myself an expert. And but if it was if it was an emergency and nobody was around, I would do what I could do. But yeah, doctor, doctor, Kevorkians. Yeah. Well, if they're letting people die of heartache and they're getting paid to hear it, I can't imagine how good they sleep. I've been sleeping pretty good as far as that goes. If it wasn't all the thoughts for other people and what I'm going to do or say next to help somebody, I'd probably really sleep well. Or maybe I'd be bored out of my mind and wouldn't even be able to sleep because I wouldn't be tired. So that's probably closer to the truth. Okay, everybody, thank you for joining me, and I'll talk to you very soon. And oh, to my new subscriber from Korea, that is so cool. How cool it is that we're connecting all the way around the world with love and peace and understanding with each other. I think that's, I'm blessed. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. Peace. Have a good night or day wherever you're at.